Oh, yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Of course.
Sir, fresh off the cut.
Yeah, as always.
Get it, man.
Okay. Versatile Vigilante, Young Vince, Uncle Vinny, on location in the fucking barbershop today, man, with the homie Romeo Vuitton.
Sir, my pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, bro. Thank you for having me in the space. While we're here, why don't you explain a little bit where we are? Let the people know what's going on.
All right, so right now we're inside Trendsetters Barbershop and Lounge. We do tattooing here. We do SMP, which is scalp micropigmentation. And we're also a barbershop, so you can get your fresh dibs here, fresh lineups, hot fades, all that blow dry styling. Very versatile.
Very, very versatile. We're on brand, man.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate you having me here. You're someone I wanted to talk to. I've never had a barber on the podcast as of yet.
Oh, nah?
So you're the first, and I'd love to kind of hear how you even got into the game in the first place. So let's hear the Romeo origin story, and we'll go from there.
That one's pretty crazy. So, how I actually got into the barber game, I was actually on a basketball scholarship when I was hooping. So, one time in practice, I actually broke my hand. Like, if you want to feel my hand, there's a broken bone here. You feel right here. There's two different bones.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So, I actually broke my hand, and then they kind of like kicked me off my scholarship. So, I had to make ends meet while I was out there still because I was still doing education, right? So, I knew I couldn't get a job because it's going to take too long, all that process and like employment and like interviews. Like, I didn't have time for that.
Right.
So I knew I was a popular kid already because I was like a little poster boy or whatever at the school. So I knew I had a little popularity and I knew all the athletes. So what I did is I knew how to cut hair a little bit. I actually learned off an app before I started doing everybody because I knew how to cut my hair, but I didn't know how to cut everybody else's hair. So I was already cool with like the low cuts and low fades, right? But obviously I was out in the country, so a lot of people had longer hair. So I went and just cut everybody that was like an athlete and just told them like, you don't gotta pay me, but make sure this word gets around. And then what ended up happening is my dorm room ended up turning into a barbershop. So I started living on the couch in my college dorm.
And the rest was history.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick, bro. Where were you going to school? I'm curious about
This
that.
was in Niagara.
In Niagara, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty crazy story because I think a lot of people, if they were on a basketball scholarship and that just ended, I think a lot of people would have kind of taken it as an opportunity to fold, to kind of give up. And for you to take it as like, okay, what's the next step here? I think that's very, very interesting and respectable.
Yeah, well, it showed me that the moment you become a liability, no one really cares about you. So I had to kind of come up on my own and make sure that if anything happens to me, that I could take care of myself without a doubt, right? Because if I was not my own person and not doing my own business and running my own things, someone would have control of what I could do. So I didn't want that again. So at least basketball showed me that, if you're not at the top, you're always at the bottom, right? The second place is just the first loser. It's not a winner. They're not at the top. You're always replaceable if you're second.
Right.
Yeah.
That's real, man. Do you feel like you always had that kind of competitive spirit?
Oh, I feel like I'm very, very competitive, like all the time. I really hate losing. I would say I hate losing more than I love winning. Yeah, for sure.
I love that quote, man, because that's real shit. It's like a win is sick, you enjoy it, but it's that loss that really fucking
I
hits
feel
you.
like the losses fire you up more. Like you calculate your losses a lot more. It makes you more hungry, and you just want to become better after those moments. When you're winning, it's easy to like be stagnant and like fall off. But when you're losing, it's just that fire. That's why most people's like in the rap culture, the first album's always the craziest album for the most part.
Yeah, that hunger is there.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get fat, and it's not quite the same. I definitely feel you on that.
Yeah.
So, that was an interesting story, though. So your dorm room turned into a barbershop. What was that lifestyle like?
Oh, it was fucking crazy because everybody was coming to my crib. And like all my roommates were just like calculating my bread. It was funny. So like at the end of the night, I would come down and they're like, yo, like dinner on you, right? I was like, what? They're like, yeah, bro, you had like 10 people up in this motherfucker, bro. We good. Like, we ain't even got to use our groceries. I was like, shit, man, we could do that like once a week, but not every night.
You turned the dorm room into a legal trap house.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
So from that, did you establish the connections that you were hoping to, getting that word of mouth?
Through the colleges, yeah, because there's nobody out there really that knew how to cut hair and was like cool with it. Plus, like as I said, I was already like popular on the campus, so they kind of wanted to get cut by me. So I just used that as a promotional tool for myself because I knew what I stood for, and people would just respect that.
Right,
Yeah.
building that brand by networking.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting, bro. What was like the next step after that? When, like, how long did that go until, and what was the next step?
I would say I only went maybe 5 months, 6 months max. But it was very different when I got back here because I thought I was just going to like flip the page as soon as I flipped it over there. But coming back here, there was a lot more competition, so I had to rebuild and understand like, well, this is way different demographic here, and the competition is much higher. So I had to increase my skill rate and just be patient. And that's what I did.
Did you go to like a barbering school or anything like that?
Barbering school, no, I didn't do any barbering school, so I'm pretty much self-taught. But what I did do is I did take a lot of barber seminars. Like I took so much barber seminars that when I was cutting hair, everybody thought I left the country because I was like gone like every week. I was like touring with this team called like Tomb 45, so they go all over the city of America. They were like Detroit, Vegas, LA. I was just following them around because I was helping them out and just trying to see what a brand, they were an up and coming brand, and I just want to see how that was like building too. So I just followed them around, learned a lot of education from there, and I also went to like the UK for because they had like the best scissor work. So I wanted to do really good hairstyles with longer hair like yours, so I could know how to use the scissors immaculately on people. And I just felt the UK had that vibe. So I went over there and learned all the scissor work out there. So I kind of like blended two locations. I learned my face from America, and then I went to the UK to learn the scissor cuts.
I love that, man. Like in Toronto, it's such a big city, but there's other big cities too. So to be able to learn different styles, adapt to different people, I feel like that's such a useful experience.
Yeah. A lot of people just have like different mindsets outside of Canada too. I feel like everybody in Toronto want to hide information. That's just the experiences I got though.
Gatekeeping.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't want you to learn because you might get past me and be better. So I try to kind of hide a few secrets so you can't ever surpass me. But it's like, you should be proud that you teaching me and then I pass you because that's you who did that for me. Not like I'm not trying to step on you in any way. I'm gonna be appreciative that like, yo, without you, I wouldn't even be at this point. So you're something in my life forever, you know? But people don't look at it that way. It's always just like some competition type stuff.
So you feel like there's that in the barber game too?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
Sure.
'Cause I hear about that in the rap world. I hear about that in the film world, sports world. But to hear it in the barber world as well is pretty
Yeah, the
interesting.
barber was funny, man. Real funny. Yeah.
What was like the biggest eye opener for you once you really felt like you were in the barber game?
Like once I got comfortable,
Yeah.
um, I would just think it was like I think it'd be coming back to like high school.
Mm.
Like when you start clicking up with like clicks, you kind of gotta pick your sides carefully because certain brands don't mess with certain brands. Certain companies don't mess with certain companies. And when you're caught in the middle fire, they're just like, oh, it's like back on some high school. It's like, oh, we were just chilling with you this night. Now you're over there having dinner with them. Like, what's going on?
Really?
Yeah.
There's politics like that
Yeah,
in
there's
the
politics, for
barber
sure.
world. Very
Yeah.
interesting, man.
Yeah.
I guess because it's people at the end of the day.
Hmm.
When you deal with people, is that kind of human nature that
It's always around.
it's always around.
Yeah.
You felt like it was a little different in the States and in the UK?
Maybe because I'm from the outside looking in, I felt like they were more open. But as the people in like Toronto, they were like more gatekeeping a lot of stuff.
Interesting.
I would say it was just something funny because like I remember I went to like this barber expo or like some barber battle in Toronto, and like I was networking, meeting people, and some guys were like, "Oh, you're not part of our section. Like, what are you doing here?" I was like, "All right, man. That's the time we're on over here, so I'm just keep moving." Yeah.
That's a good lesson to have, bro. Where it's like, all right, bro. If that's how you're feeling, that's how you're feeling. I'm gonna keep doing my
Yeah.
thing, though.
But it's not obviously not everybody in Toronto, but like I'm pretty sure it goes around like that in other parts. But I just feel like there wasn't as much information given out in Toronto as other areas.
Love that. And we were speaking about prior to sitting down for the interview, you were talking about maybe wanting to do some teaching yourself, teaching like a younger generation. Do you feel like that's something where you can be that person to give them some info, put them on a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely love to do that. I kind of do that on my own. I
Right.
love to inspire. I love to motivate. I have a funny channel that is very controversial at times, but yeah, for the most part, I'm inspiring and motivating. That's what I do.
A funny YouTube channel?
Yeah,
The
funny
hell,
you.
man! I didn't even know about this.
Yeah,
What
you.
goes on there?
It's a lot of controversial takes. It's a lot of jargon going on over there.
Okay, I gotta do some deep dives later. Gotta find this fuck for part two of the interview.
Yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
dive into that one, man.
Yeah.
Is being so one thing I wanted to ask you about in barbershop game, haircutting game on like TikTok, Instagram, it's a very popular topic. You see a lot of barber social media videos.
Yeah.
Do you feel like being a on-camera figure is important in the type of work that you do?
To attract new clientele, yes. A lot of people are promoting themselves to other barbers,
Okay.
which isn't gonna help your income. Other barbers, okay, it's cool. They respect your work. You're getting a rep in the barber world, which is fine. But is that making your income grow? Right? You are attracting the wrong crowd. You want other barbers to appeal to your content when you should be trying to appeal to someone who just wants a haircut, someone who wants a service, someone who wants an experience. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you on that because then, yeah, you're right. It's like you're catering to the same people, and then it's just a cycle. Whereas if
Mm-hmm.
you can expand the network, expand your opportunities,
Yeah.
that's real.
Yeah.
Is that something you see yourself doing more of?
Like expanding my content.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing now. We just were at a barbershop the other day. We did a lot of content over there. So now I'm gonna be making content for that service and promoting it to other customers around the area to see if we get them in the shop.
I love that. I think that's a good opportunity, man, especially for a local business grow in the store and content wise. It's a huge opportunity.
Yeah. But it does work if you want to promote to people in your industry because you can still make people in your industry your clients, but you have to be able to teach them, right? So you gotta be able to convince them that they should learn from you.
Right.
Yeah,
It's one thing to have like a good TikTok. It's a whole other thing to
yeah,
actually provide that work.
yeah.
That's real. One thing I see is like speaking of controversial topics, it's like the conversation about tipping a barber.
Okay.
So tipping a barber, I've seen this before where it's like, oh, $150 haircut, $50 tip.
hmm
What are your thoughts on that? The tipping culture in the barber shop.
Tipping culture, I think it depends who you are. If you are a monthly client, I think you should tip because you don't come around as often, and then it shows that you appreciate your barber more. But if you are someone who comes every week, for me, I don't really care if you tip because you are coming in my chair every week. You're supporting my business. I see you every week. You don't gotta give me any more, right? Because I know you are a continuous supporter,
Right.
so I gotta give you a break. Just from mine, that's what I believe.
It's a relationship
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That's a good point, man. Because yeah, if it's someone that doesn't really come through too much, maybe taxed a little more.
Not tax a little more, but there's definitely more work if they're not coming around as often because you have a whole shag you gotta cut off.
True.
Right, so
So you look at it literally from just the amount of hair you have to cut. That's where the tip comes from.
I assume so. Like I'm putting in work, Like,
Right.
I gotta transform you. You're gonna look like a whole different person. You're gonna walk a little different when you get out of here. Your confidence is gonna be much higher, right? So I'm changing your whole aspect in a matter of 30, 45 minutes. Yeah.
That's a good selling point right there, bro. That would be a fire selling feature right there. 'Cause you're right, man. A fresh haircut, nothing feels that like that.
That's the fastest way to lose 20 pounds.
Real shit. Real shit.
Yeah.
And your business has always been interesting too because it's very rarely you just cut the hair and go. It usually comes with a conversation. You get to know your customers.
Mm-hmm.
How important do you feel like that people person aspect is in your world?
I feel like that's very important after the first cut. Because after the first cut, they already know. They got a taste of your product. They know who you are, what you do, what you're about, how good it is compared to others when they were at other shops. But now it's how can you separate yourself? What can we relay on? What can we talk about? How's this experience going to be better? Do I want to be excited to come in the shop to see you? Are you a grump when I get in your chair? Are you going to drain my energy when you get in my chair because you're always complaining that I have to make you work? Like, it's
Right.
funny because some of my clients are like, oh, damn, I booked with you, but I don't want to make you work. I was like, what? Bro, if the availability is there, just get in here. I don't care, bro. Like, that's what the availability is there for. Obviously, if you're booking me after hours, then we could talk a little different.
Right.
But, like, business hours, like, I'm operating. That's why it's called operation of hours, right? Or hours of operation. My bad.
Real shit. It's
Yeah.
like I feel like a good barber is almost like a therapist in a way too.
Oh, yeah. You definitely got to be a therapist because everybody's coming in with their problems. You got to give them solutions. And obviously, that comes with life experience. So, obviously, you have to live a little bit on your side so that when they do come in your chair and they're looking up to you for something, you got to be able to deliver on call, right? You always got to find a way to help them out. Because if you can help them out, they're yours forever.
Yeah, it's not so much about the haircut anymore as it is
Nah.
about the actual relationship.
Anybody could cut hair, really, to be honest. It's obviously about the relationship. You're dealing with people. So
Absolutely.
you gotta make them feel like they're appreciated. You treat someone like shit, they ain't really gonna come back unless they like being treated like shit. Like,
And that's a whole other story.
yeah, you know.
No, that's real, man. And I like what you said about the experience aspect. Because one thing, like doing interviews, you meet a lot of people in music and other things where they're very young. Like they just haven't been alive for very long. So there's not a whole lot they could really talk about. Whereas when you've been in the game a little bit, you've done things, you travel, go to different places, you see so much other things that go on in the world. You meet so many different people. I feel like that's where a lot of growth comes. So I'm glad that you touched on that because you're right. It's not just the hair cutting skill, it's the life experience, it's the humbleness, the ability to relate to someone. It all factors in.
Mm-hmm.
So I fucking feel you on that for sure.
Yes, sir. You gotta get life experience. It's the only way you figure out about yourself. You gotta try new things, get out there, be very uncomfortable with what you're doing. That's the only way you find out who you are. It's when your back's against the wall. How you gonna operate when your back's against the wall? Right? It's easy to operate when everything's going well. It's when everything's going shit. Are you still gonna be the same person when it's going shit?
Real shit, bro. That's when that real strength, that real
Mm-hmm.
see what you're made of comes in handy.
Mm-hmm.
How long you been cutting hair for now?
I would say a decade now.
A full decade.
Yeah.
Very tough question, but just curious to hear what you say. What would you say the biggest lesson you've learned in this 10 plus years would be?
Biggest lesson? There's so many, but I guess the one that chops up at the top of my head is probably patience.
Mhm.
Right? It's not a game. I know it's cool and everything now because of social media, which has really helped the industry build up. Because everybody sees, oh, we're cutting celebrities, we're going on events, we're teaching, we're traveling, you're getting things for free. People are paying $1,000 haircuts sometimes, you know. But that doesn't happen overnight, right? That doesn't come like this. Everybody thinks a celebrity's gonna sit in their chair like that, or they think they're gonna get that exposure, but it's really a grind. I see a lot of new barbers always ask me like, "How did I get so busy?" I don't even know how you're so busy sometimes, but they don't understand. Like I was literally like on that corner. Yo, I'm right here. Is this shop right here? I provide VIP service. My name is so and so. This is the shop I'm at. You want to come and get a haircut? Like, nah, but like, okay, but I'll cut you for free right now. Come try me out. I just want to show you what I could do. I just want the opportunity, right? And then that's how like I was hustling out there. I was really on the corner talking to people. Like, if I'm not busy, I'm outside of the shop at a gas station where the traffic's at, promoting myself. You gotta be promoting yourself all the time, right? Some guys are like, oh, I don't want to talk to people. I feel like I'm begging. I don't want to beg people, or like I'm shy. I don't want to. But see, that's the thing. You gotta be uncomfortable with getting out. That's the only way you grow. You got into a business where you gotta kind of feed yourself. No one's gonna feed you. No one's gonna care if your chair is not spinning or not. You're the person who hired you might, but it's gonna be hard for them to promote you if you're not operating yourself in that way and fashion. You know.
Completely agree, bro. And that's the type of shit I really enjoy speaking about because it's true, bro. It's not even like, oh, it's negative, it's unfair. No, it's literally no one's gonna care about you more than you care about yourself. You have to hold yourself down. It's not a negotiation. Like if you don't care enough about what you're doing, why would someone else care? So I definitely feel you on that. And the patience is the biggest thing, bro.
Yeah.
Is if it were to be easy, if it were to be a snap of the fingers, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Yeah, but we live in this time where everybody's got like a microwave mindset. Attention spans like 5 seconds now. So everybody wants it fast and quick. Like even you only gotta go out to eat. Everybody wants it delivered to their house. Even going out to eat is being kind of a task. They're like, oh, I don't want to walk there. But it's like 5 minute walk. It's like what?
Trust.
You know what I'm saying?
Microwave mindset. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that a little bit prior to the interview too, where it's like we have all these options now, but it's like it's a lot of watered down shit. Whereas prior, it's like if you're going out, you know it's gonna be fucking lit. If you're watching the basketball, it's gonna be the Bulls. You know, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So it is kind of crazy to see how things have changed with that.
So yeah, social media opened up to the whole world, right? So now you're competing with the whole world, which is better and harder at the same time for certain things. Yeah.
You get to expand yourself to a lot of people, but you're also kind of competing with a lot of people at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, like the social media platform, you're just really competing for attention. That's what it is. Someone's posting the same time as you. Someone's posting 3 times more than you. Someone's posting 5 times more than you, right? So it's just, you're really just competing for attention.
Real shit.
Yeah.
And that's the game we're in, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So, yo, another thing that you do, and we're right behind the sign here, S&P Academy.
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit, because that's a very, very new skill set.
So it's pretty new. I think people are still very uncomfortable with what's going on because they're just like, oh, I want to put ink in my hair. But so what it is, it's called scalp micropigmentation, which stands for S&P. What it is micropigments that look like hair follicles that we implement in your hair. It's for people who are thinning or balding or want a sharper hairline or want density fills. We can do that. So it's going to make your hair, if you have hair already, it's going to make your hair look thicker and fuller. We call those density fills. If you are thinning, we can cut it down, mask it, or if you have long enough hair to comb it over, we could cover it up with the micro dots. We could give you a lineup that you always wanted. And it's not like hair fibers where you have to always plug them in the morning and then you're scared, like, oh, don't touch my hair.
Right.
Or if you're out with a girl and you go sleep at her house, all that pillow stain is on the pillow after. And she gonna wonder like, oh, I thought you had real hair. Yeah, or like if it's raining, you don't want to go outside because it's raining.
Right.
Yeah,
So less maintenance.
less maintenance is a very good
So is it
investment
a
for yourself.
tattoo?
Pretty much the basic is hair tattoo. Yes.
Okay, very cool. And we talked again before sitting down. You said there's still kind of like a stigma attached to it. What do you think? Why do you think that is?
I think there's a stigma to it because it's brand new. People haven't really gotten used to it. And they're still going with the hair transplants and the man units or the hair units. They don't really know that what comes with all that territory. When you get a transplant, people don't know that you have to wear a wrap around your hair for like a month or two. And your scalp's itching, it's red, you gotta wait for it to heal. It's very annoying. And the man unit, you gotta get it replaced every so often. which is gonna cost you a lot of money
Right.
over time. And then what, you can't sweat a certain amount of time. Like we were talking about LeBron, like he had a man unit and then it would flipped up, right? So you can't really
Look
be
crazy.
too aggressive if you are someone who's very active, right? But with the S&P, it's immediate results, right? We plug them in, you heal. There's no wrapping. You don't gotta worry about no man unit coming out, no fibers coming off. You can do anything you want after that.
Yeah, you posted a story of that today. It looked fucking wild, bro. Like you're just going in there with the dots.
Yeah,
It looked like a very like specific task.
yeah. You gotta make sure that dots are spread out evenly and are the same size dots, so it looks like hair follicles, right? And then I wish you guys could have seen the hairline because the hairline was crazy when we were done with it. It actually looked like real hair on it.
That's fucking sick, man. How
Mhm.
did you even kind of get into that? Because it's a whole other aspect of the game.
How I got into that? Well, when I got here,
Mm.
I joined this team who's really part of the S&P culture, and they want to take it further. They're very talented, and they're very have an obsession with the craft about getting better because they do a lot of courses all the time, and they were willing to take me on and teach me and show me how everything is done properly. And then I just liked it, and I like the fact that I could change somebody's life. I like changing someone's life and making them feel better and giving them confidence anywhere I can. Like when we did that outline on the person the other day, he was like, "Wow, I look brand new." He's like,
Right.
he walking with a different pep in his step. You can see it already. So that's why I like that stuff.
You see the impact you're making, seeing the results. I definitely could see that. And shout out to you again, bro, for picking up. Like you've been in the game for 10 years, picking up another skill. It's always a good option to learn a new tool, learn a new craft. So I think that's a good lesson as well for someone just getting into the game. Hey, there's always going to be something new to learn about, which is dope.
You always gotta keep learning. You don't want to ever be stagnant. Because when you're stagnant, the fire dies. You gotta keep refueling the fire so it burns higher, right? You don't want that fire to go out.
Real shit. And again, like 10 years in the game, what's something that helps you keep that motivation?
Keeps me motivated. Just I know people are relying on me to deliver. They need me to deliver on their wedding days. They need me to deliver on their business meeting days. They need me to deliver when they're going on vacation. They need me to deliver for their kids when they're having their first pictures, their graduation pictures, their high school graduation pictures, their college graduation pictures. People are expecting me to deliver on their date night so that they can get that wop at the end of the night when they're with their girl, you know?
Facts.
Yeah,
That's real,
so,
man. You're with them in all times,
yeah,
really,
that
man.
pressure is high at all times. But I love the pressure, man.
That's awesome. That's a great way to look at it. Again, going back to that sport, like competitive spirit.
Yeah.
When the game's on the line, that's when you got to really perform.
Yeah.
I love that, man. So, yo, we have some homies in the background here, some very important people, some good mutual friends of ours.
Okay.
I met you through the homie M Works,
Okay.
CK, two
Yeah.
very, very important people in the Toronto film world.
Mm-hmm.
Very inspirational to me. You're good friends with them both.
Mm-hmm.
How has being friends with them kind of influenced your game? Because two of the hardest working guys right there as well.
Yeah. They influenced me in a lot of ways because we're all big dreamers. And like a lot of us could have quit. You know, we could have stopped doing what we doing, but we didn't. And they kept going, so it inspired me to keep going.
As you get older, you really see how the people you have around you reflects on you. You know, if you're around people that aren't doing much, you're probably not doing much. It probably looks bad on you. When you're around people really running around, making things happen, doing positive shit, I feel like that can only help you want to do that as well.
Yeah, that's why they say you are the person around the 5 people you spend the time the most around, right? If you're around 10 broke people, you probably gonna be the 10th one. But if you're around 10 rich people, you're gonna be the 11th one. It just has a trickling effect. There's no way around it.
It's so true, bro. You break down like personal boundaries that way. You know, when you're around people that are doing good shit, you want to do good shit. You keep achieving, keep leveling up,
Yes,
and
sir.
you see, oh man, there's something here.
Yeah. You
Very
gotta
real.
keep leveling up for sure.
100%, bro. What's like a next level you see? I'm not sure if you're into like speaking things into existence, that sort of thing, but where do you see yourself going?
My next step is obviously the S&P. I want to start teaching the S&P, start building that side of my game, and just growing more, having a family, just, tiring my parents. I don't want to do all that before my time's end here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned some countries prior in the interview, do you see yourself ever leaving Toronto?
Oh, for sure. I'm done with Canada. Like, I've been here too long. I'm done with the cold. I know I'm not supposed to be here because every time winter come around, I can't seem to wake up. But when summer come around, I'm up at like 4 a.m.
Oh yeah.
with no issues. It was like that when I was a kid, like in summer school, because I obviously failed a lot of classes because I couldn't wake up to go to the first class. I was up at summer school, and my mom was like, "Damn, why don't you just do that in the winter? You wouldn't even have to do this." I'm like, "I don't know. I can't fucking wake up in the winter. That shit dark as fuck outside and boring. I don't want to be up." Yeah, so yeah, I'm planning to probably move to Mexico, Florida, Texas, somewhere hot, real hot. And because I like golf a lot, so I'm on golf all year, right? So,
I love that, man. When did you get into golf?
um, got into golf probably last year, November.
And
Yeah,
you're fucking with it.
yeah, bro. It's a real good obsession I have right now. And it's just another thing because of the progression, right? You see where you start to where you're at now, and it's obviously better than where you first started. And it just reminds me all the time, like, oh, if I could do that to this, I could do that with anything. I already had the formula, I already got the blueprint. I just got to put my energy over there too, right? So I know anything could be accomplished because I've already did it in some way and fashion. I already have my MVP awards. I already had championships under my belt. I've already started my business. I've already been in the gym, low body fat percentage. I already did marathons. Like, I know I could do it. I just got to apply myself. Once I apply myself, it's over.
Man, I love that you said that. I've been thinking about that a lot too, bro. Like when you look back, it's like, fuck, you've accomplished quite a bit. Let's keep going. Not
Yeah,
done. Not
yeah.
I don't want to just sit back. Like I want let's keep going. Let's keep challenging ourselves. So I love that you're on that type of shit.
Mhm.
Golf is a crazy sport too because it's like you're only really competing with yourself. It's not a
Yeah.
team sport.
Nope.
You're playing against other people, sure, but it depends on how you do. It's a really cool like personal challenge.
Yeah. Well, people always get it twisted. They think you're playing against each other. You're not. You're actually trying to beat the course. So
Yeah.
when people always used to be like, "Oh, I beat you," or "You beat me," I'll be like, "Yeah, but what did the course say the score was supposed to be at the end of the round?" They're like, "Oh, like 68." I'm like, "What'd you get?" "Oh, like 70." I'm like, "You didn't win either, fool. We getting the fuck out of here."
Super fast.
Yeah.
And I like too how it's a very humbling sport because you could have a sick hole and then the next hole can be absolutely terrible. And you're like, oh fuck.
But it's life.
It's
That's
life,
life.
exactly.
You gotta be mentally strong, right? One, you gotta be able to mentally stay afloat no matter what's happening. Shit's gonna happen. All shit's always gonna happen in life. You go out there and golf, you might hit some sick shots, but you're gonna hit a couple bad ones for sure. Some of them gonna throw you back a lot. But that's life too. Not everything's just gonna go straight forward. Right? You're gonna you gotta take your lumps. You're gonna get hit. But it's just how you take them and keep moving, right?
100,000%, bro. I completely feel you on that. With the 10 years in the game, when you look back at your first, like going back to the cutting your hair in
Startup.
Niagara, like, do you see that growth? Do you ever sit back and reflect and
Oh,
be
I
like,
definitely
geez,
did, man. I had to take my lumps in the beginning like crazy. My days weren't busy at all. I barely had this chair spinning. I had to work during the day and work during the night. These guys know I was always working like 19 hours. Like I sleep 4 hours. People always thought I cap about that, but if you actually follow my stories, you see I'll be up at like 2 a.m. and I'll be up at 6 a.m. Now I'll be on the golf course. Back then it was like I'll be hooping at 6 a.m. and then I come here and do work. And then I have to go back in the nighttime, do that shit all over again. So yeah, it really progressed because yo, I couldn't do that lifestyle now.
Yeah.
I definitely burn out. But you know, you gotta sacrifice. At that time, I actually sacrificed my health. Like a lot of people don't know, I literally dropped 30 pounds in like last year, 2 years ago, whatever it may be. I don't look the way I look now because I know sometimes when I walk through areas, it's not that I don't say hi to people, but I just want to see if they recognize me. And like literally, people walk past me and they don't recognize me until like after, and they're like, "Oh shit, bro! Like I literally walked past you, dog. I didn't even see you." It's like, yeah, it's crazy. I was right here the whole time.
I love that, man. And you
Yeah.
know what? That's a good point too, where it's like the way you hustle, that'll change over time too. You can't go as the same miles per hour as you did when you're like 20 as you do
Mhm.
when you're 30, but you get better, you learn yourself a little more healthier.
Mhm.
That's an interesting part of growing up as well.
Yeah.
We talk about basketball like that. Players in their 30s have to make those adjustments. They're still sick.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta make your adjustments. You gotta find a way to be more efficient. You gotta figure out where you can put your time into
Yep.
as well. Yeah.
Real shit, bro. So one thing I like to always ask my guests, if someone like a young person's thinking about getting into barbering or even SMP or any kind of manual type of art form labor,
Hmm.
what would be some advice for them, someone wanting to start up?
Someone wanting to start up, I just tell them be patient. It's not gonna happen overnight. You're gonna have your ups and downs. You're gonna have your good times and your bad times. But you gotta be patient and stick through it. A lot of people think I'm gonna make 100K in a year. No, you're not. That's like very rare, right? It's most businesses take time to succeed. Take like 5 years, but everybody's like, nah, I want it in like 6 months, 3 months. It's like, come on, man. Like even a body transformation don't even like happen
Right.
that fast. You want to be in the gym, it's gonna take you at least 3 months to get somewhere. Not even get to your goal, just to see your results. You know, so it's like you just gotta be patient and like thug it out, and just know it's not gonna happen overnight.
It's a virtue, man. It really is a
Yeah.
virtue. And the last question, just funny question, is there like a haircutting story that really sticks out to you? Something where you look back and you're like, damn, that was fucking wild.
Yeah, of course.
What's the best one you can say?
This time I was cutting this guy's hair, I actually like chopped off his earlobe.
Oh, fuck.
So he went back to his wife, and he's like, "Yo, my ear got chopped off." But then he went to the next barber, and she's like, "Yo, you need to go back to the guy that chopped your earlobe off because that motherfucker was cutting with heat." Like he's like, "Yo, he hasn't left since."
And he's still your client.
Yeah.
I love that, bro.
Yeah. So even when you fuck up, see, you go. I took a lump there, but I made sure everything else was good. So you
Yeah,
know.
the earlobe got fucked up, but the hair was fire.
Yeah.
I fucking love that, man. And
Yeah.
that's a good lesson too, where it's like everyone makes a mistake. You
Yeah.
can build from that. You can grow from that. It's not the end of the world.
No, it's never the end.
I love that, man. And last thing for me, at least, we talked prior to the interview. You're very big on like self development,
Mhm.
challenging yourself. Is there like a kind of a show that you're watching right now, or a strategy, something you're trying to put into your life?
A show. I don't really watch too much shows, but I definitely listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of audiobooks, and then obviously golf is a very big challenge for me. I really want to be a scratch player. I feel like I could get there. I see it from myself.
For sure.
Yeah.
Our
And,
next interview's got to be on the course.
oh yeah,
That
it
would be
better
sick.
be.
Yes, that would be sick.
Yeah.
I love that, bro. Yo, I really appreciate you having me in the spot. Shout out to Trendsetters as a business. Anything else you want to share? Anything you want to promote? Get off your chest. The floor is yours, bro.
Yeah, we at 372 Browns Line Avenue. Come get your fresh cuts tattoos and your SMP. Do some research because that's better than a hair transplant, in my opinion. And we're going to get you right over here.
Very versatile shot, man. Like we said.
Mhm.
Appreciate you, bro. Where do the people find you at?
And Romeo Vuitton, you know we got it going on.
Love that. Follow the homie. Shout out Romeo. Shout out CK. Shout out M Works in the back. Versatile Vigilante. Let's fucking get it, man.